Hello, welcome to Nuggets for Life. My name is Peter Mueller and I have created this video series to share with you some ideas and concepts that can change your life. Let's get on with it. Today we talk about nugget number 3, Master Your Digital Universe, Part 1. Just briefly to recap, in nugget number 1 we talked about generally on time management, and there we had the quadrant 3, which was talking about the urgent but not important tasks, and a lot of our digital illusions of productivity are in that quadrant 3. So go back to nugget number 1 and get a recap if this is not on top of your mind. In nugget number 2, we talked about the digital detox. As with every addictive behavior and addiction, we have to get the trigger away from us, meaning that we have to unplug and disconnect. These strategies we have covered in number 2. So we go through a 30-day detox and an early recovery program, but to establish a habit, we know it takes about 100 days until we have set a habit which can last lifelong and we are not falling back. So now we talk about, after we went through the initial detox, on how to use our smartphone effectively and efficiently. Here is our digital universe where the smartphone plays a key role. The smartphone connects us to the outside world with the Wi-Fi access in every store where we are or at home on our LAN and when we travel. So it gets everything from the outside and it can connect then also to we can connect it to our devices in-house. And here I recommend right off the bat, for your smartphone, get a cable that you can connect your smartphone with a USB port to your laptop or desktop or your digital device or your external storage, as you can see, the stick or your external hard drive. That is just for file movement on a very quick and effective way. The cell phone as such is at the core of it because it is always with you and you have to be able to move information around everywhere in the world and to your devices. And as you can see down there, the Wi-Fi, and in the cloud, there you can keep your core information and you always get either from your desktop, laptop to the cloud and from the cell phone to your cloud. So these interchanges we talk about in another nugget on how to do that. Today we focus on the effective and efficient way using your smartphone. Smartphone is the portal to the world. These are the must-have apps you have. You have to have an app for your email and for your messaging. Your messaging is most of the time attached to one or two multiple of your social media accounts. Secondly, you need a good camera and video app for your phone that you can use the photo and video capacity of your phone. You need also a video conferencing app, Zoom, Duo, Skype, and so forth. They are all available for free on the internet in your Google App Store or in your Apple Store. Then you need a calendar app to manage your appointments and so forth. You need a notepad for quick notes, for taking meeting notes and so forth. Very important, you need a file management software, how you can move information and how you can store and retrieve information on your smartphone. And this is a universal technique we talk about in our next nugget, in nugget number 4, about this process. Then you need a search engine, it's Google or it's Safari, or it is DuckDuckGo if you like high privacy. Obviously, whether you are Android or Apple, you have your Apple Store or your Google Play Store for download of any kind of apps. Nice to have apps are voice recording, that you can take quick notes for yourself, speech writing, if you like to speak and your memo is basically written on the fly, and your reading glasses. Get one of those apps. If you forgot your reading glasses, you can convert your cell phone very quickly to a magnifying glass. Last but not least, for sure, it's nice to have your social media, your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, and so forth on your smartphone, but obviously only used at the times when you are not unplugged and disconnected. Now, here are two fundamental things for the proper utilization of your smartphone. Number one, you have to go to the general settings, and most people don't do this. There are gazillions of settings, but here are the three most important ones you definitely have to go to. Number one, you always have to know your Wi-Fi setting, whether it's on or off. The same thing for Bluetooth, if you have external speakers, headphones, and so forth. Sometimes they go on and off and you forget and you say, why in the world does this not work? And your airline mode, whether you're in airline mode or not, because it depends on how it handles internet messaging and so forth. Secondly, very important, you have to go in the general settings to notifications, because that's the place where you decide if an app can send you notifications or not. Whatever you block there can never interfere with your daily business. If you want updates for your apps, you do this once every 6 months for everything, but that's it. But not every day, the third new version of your browser or whatever. Next, wireless alerts. You can get weather, Amber alerts, everything under the sun. I turn them all off except the Amber alert. Make your choice, because these days those phones are loaded with gazillions of warnings. You get warned about anything, any day. Next, in the individual apps. So when you go in your system to the apps, in the individual apps, there are three critical things you always have to look what the settings are and change them appropriately. Number one, on notifications. You can decide whether they come, whether they can show, and in which form they show, or you can block them. Secondly, permissions. What do you allow this app to have access to? To your location trigger, like for your GPS system. Secondly, camera, microphone, and storage, whether they are allowed to write on your hard drive on your phone or on your SD card. That's very important. If you don't want apps to write it down, block this, because every app wants to leave some stuff on your phone to get back to you and get information from you and manipulate it. Don't do it. If you don't purposely do it, go to the permission and don't allow to write on your cell phone. Last but not least, they always ask the apps, are they allowed to change your system settings? Hell no! You don't do this unless it affects the basic functionality of your phone. So these are the fundamentals, and tomorrow or whenever I will post nugget number 4, we will be talking about the getting organized, how to store and move your information within your digital universe. Until that time, have fun on figuring out what your smartphone really can do.